Ask George is brought to you by International Cricket Tours. ICT are cricket travel specialists with decades of experience taking supporters all over the world. Get in touch with their expert team today to plan winter trips to the Caribbean, Pakistan, New Zealand, as well as the Women's Ashes. Love cricket, love travel, choose International Cricket Tours. Hello and welcome back to another episode of Ask George. It's been another entertaining day of Test cricket at Edgbaston. Bob asked, what position does Jamie Smith end up batting for England?
Well, he's fine at 7, isn't he? I mean, if he's going to keep wicket, that kind of makes sense, but he's looking more assured than Ollie Pope to me. So I think if he wasn't a keeper, he could go up the order, but he's keeping, so that works, doesn't it? What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think he's shown the quality to bat anywhere from 3 to 7, really. But as you said, with the wicket-keeping duties, it makes sense for him to bat slowly down the order.
Yeah, I think you brought him in for a very specific reason, which is to be a keeper who bats with the tail. I don't think, now that it's working, there's any current need to disrupt that. But say when a route moves on and there's a gap up the order, yeah, it would be silly if he's being as productive as this to not give him more opportunity.
Or, to be fair, maybe if they go somewhere where it's going to turn a lot, various Asian countries, but probably not Pakistan, and you want to get folks back into the side. But look, he's taken to it really well. And I think if there's one thing you don't want to get a reputation for as a young batter in international cricket, it's not being able to play the short ball. He's smashing the short ball. Yes. I mean, I'm sure everyone will keep trying it because they're saying he's compulsive. But why wouldn't you? West Indies just said, Jaden Seals just said he was a compulsive hooker. Why wouldn't you be if you keep hitting him for 6? I don't know how much cricket I've seen at this ground. A lot, yeah. Very, very rare to hit a 6 over that stand. I'm not positive I've ever seen it before.
The Occidental Tourist asked, will England see their unlikely recovery from 54 for 5 as a vindication for their aggressive approach?
Well, they will. You're absolutely right. And to be fair, the way that Smith in particular plays coming in at 7 or 8 in this game does sort of make sense. If you're playing with the tail and you're worried about the tail not being able to hang around very long, you're trying to maximise those opportunities. There's some logic there. We can all see that. But of course, you don't get in the mess if you don't play the extravagant shots. And, quite a lot of the top order got themselves out. They just did.
Yeah, I think the mentality under Brendan McCullum, they probably won't feel a need to be vindicated or to have that sort of vindication. It worked for them. It worked against a very poor West Indies bowling attack. Will it work, for instance, next year against India? We saw a few reckless shots. However, if they are playing a stronger side, will they play with such reckless abandon at the top of the order? So it's a few questions there.
It is true, I think, that the match situation maybe brought the best out of Root and Stokes for a bit. It forced them to play within themselves. You're not seeing any of these reverse scoop shots from Root, are you? Well, not until after he got 100 the other day. And I think maybe the match situation encouraged him to apply himself and maybe brought the best out of him. So they'll say it vindicated, of course they will. But, it's more complex than that.
Talking about some calculated baseball, Bobby Smith asked, is Chris Woakes the best number 9 in Test cricket?
Well, that's not the Bobby Smith question I thought we were going to go for, because I think he also asked, I may have got the wrong fella, he also asked if Stokes should be at a stud farm, and if he was, would he be making perfect horses? Now, I'm with you with the first bit. I'm not sure we want to encourage Chris Woakes to be having sex with a horse, but I take the point. It's never a sentence I thought we were going to say. Cut that up. Make that the headline. We don't want to encourage Chris Woakes to have sex with a horse. We genuinely don't, or anyone. For young people watching.
That went off in a tangent.
I mean, I think the point is Chris Woakes is a lovely cricketer, and almost everything he does with such a classy batter, such a classy bowler, and he's provided a reminder of that. And it's lovely to see it. He's got better for every game, hasn't he? Every session, really. He's meant to be a number 8, isn't he? So it just probably shows it was unnecessary to put Mark Wood in on the previous night.
Nick asked...
Can I just interrupt quickly? Santokie, where would Chris Woakes bat? Where would Chris Woakes bat if he were batting for West Indies?
Probably I'd say opener.
Honestly, he looks... Is this harsh? He looks better than the West Indies number 3. Doesn't he? He's got a Test century.
I think that's a big call. I mean, yeah, we'll get on to. I'm sure we'll get on to
Yes,
that.
on that
Okay.
theme, Nick asked, Carl Hope or Kirk McKenzie?
Carl Hope, that's bringing back post-traumatic stress disorder for me. But Kirk McKenzie's had an abysmal series, averaged 5.5. Ironically, he was the top scorer in our Australia series, and that Australia premium kept him in for this test side. He had a poor domestic season, averaged 24 for the Jamaica Scorpions. So really out of form. He hasn't looked confident all this. Sort of looked like a matter of time before he's a walking wicket, essentially. In terms of who else could come in at number 3, it's the lack of depth, unfortunately. We've had a very visual representation. The two potential long-term players who we thought would be number 3 and 4 for West Indies, Shimron Hetmeyer and Nicholas Pooran. They are in England at the moment. Unfortunately, they are playing in the 100 format, which might not exist in the next few years, but they're here to play in that at the moment.
On that, I was just thinking, you guys tell me, maybe we should have a whip round. People who are watching ask George to buy a 100 side. I don't reckon it costs. Let's buy Welsh Fire. Let's have fun with it. What have you got? I've got a button and an old hotel room key. There you are. Radisson key and a receipt. So we're halfway there for what I reckon it would cost to buy Welsh Fire. What do you think? Let's crowdfund it. I reckon a couple of grand is what they're going to get offered.
Who would be your marquee signing?
Oh, well, I think bring back Kirk Edwards as well. See, who's the other one we're talking? Danza Hyatt? Look, on the question, I wouldn't want to be disrespectful about it. I would love to have the ability to play the tests they've played. I honestly would. So I don't want to be critical, but having said that, I think they could have done a guard of honour for McKenzie as he walked off there. He's had a horrendous series, hasn't he? It doesn't look like a test number 3, but maybe, you do see players come in, struggle. Hashim Amla, had a really difficult start to his career and became one of the greats. So maybe he'll work hard on his game, but it's very difficult to go from playing on very slow, low Caribbean pitches and playing quite little first-class cricket to suddenly playing in England at number 3. It's really tough, and he's been found wanting at this stage. But I wouldn't want to be disrespectful, having just been quite disrespectful.
In defence of McKenzie, his 6 tests he played in his career, one's been at home to India, and then the other's been away to Australia and England. So it has been a tough start. Hopefully, he sort of pick himself up.
And he did get some runs in Australia, as you say.
Talking of people though that had a poor day, Erica Morris asked,
She'd had an okay day, isn't she? Sorry to hear this, Erica.
Is it time to give Alzarri Joseph a rest in Test cricket? If so, who is the best performing bowler to replace him?
How long have you got? So Alzarri Joseph, obviously, he's the only fast bowler in this Test match who played in the T20 World Cup and has come here. Looks massively out of form.
Mark Wood played in the T20 World Cup. Oh, you mean for the West Indies?
Well, for West Indies,
okay.
Yeah. But yeah, okay, yeah. But I think it's tough. It's been tough for him to switch formats. We've seen his line and length inconsistent. His short ball, we saw what Atkinson did to it as well. It's been very poor. He's seen as the leader of the pack, the bowling pack, vice captain of the side as well, which has kind of gone under the radar. It would be in his best interest to give him a rest. However, we've got lack of options at the moment. Kumar Roach is injured. I think it speaks volumes that the 2 players we have called up for the squad, Jeremiah Louis and Hakeem Jordan, both been uncapped and have essentially been picked because they've happened to be in England playing club cricket. Hakeem Jordan was at West Bromwich, I believe, playing club cricket.
Dartmouth, yeah, just down the road.
So that speaks volumes to the fact we don't have any test experience ready players who can call up with the ball, and it's a shame. So I think they will persist with Alzarri, at least for the next series in South Africa as well, and we'll probably see him struggling in that.
Just on Alzarri, it's really frustrating how little progress he's made, isn't it? Because he's obviously got a lot going for him with bat and ball, and we're not seeing a lot from him. I mean, I think it'd be really sad if they moved on from him, and I think he'd probably do fine on the franchise circuit. But what is it in the West Indies coaching setup, maybe, that's unable to unlock the ability that's there? But in terms of other options, I mean, there's this guy, OJ Shields, I'm going to pretend I know lots about. I've never seen him bowl. Talking rubbish, really. But apparently he's the quickest bowler in the Caribbean, and he's working as a teacher in Jamaica. Caribbean cricket's broken. Honestly, it is. Honestly, that's fair, isn't it?
Yeah.
Have you seen him bowl?
No, I haven't.
Everyone says he's the quickest bowler in the Caribbean. But there are others. There's O'Shane Thomas. Well, what's happened to him? What's happened to Kemar Holder? I can tell you he's been paid his own way to have rehab in England in recent times. So there's still quite a lot of talent, but why aren't they able to coach the best out of it? Don't know the answers to that.
There was a 2-ball spell from Alzarri Joseph today that it was like, okay, there it is. And obviously, we've seen plenty of him, and there's enough evidence there to show he's a good bowler. But the 92-mile-an-hour ball that whizzed past Ben Stokes, and then was it the very next ball he got Stokes out? Yes, caught a mid-wicket, but still it's that extra pace.
Ben Stokes plays the short ball about as well as any England player ever.
Yeah.
So to get him out with the short ball, absolutely legitimate. It was what they were trying to do. So fair play. Yeah, you make a good point.
Danny asked, given today's charity theme, is there a possibility of using the frequent ball inspections and changes this summer to raise money and awareness for testicular cancer?
I think that's a really, really great idea. And I think there are all sorts of other possibilities. There are a couple of executives who have been at the ECB in recent years who make me think of other body parts. So maybe you're onto something. I think that's a really good idea. I genuinely do. It could be sponsored, couldn't it? But every time you see a picture of, I better not say their name. It could be, I better not say, be an advert for Anya Sol. Let's keep going.
Moving swiftly on, Michael Penhall asks, what a difference a day makes. Should England's players start looking for a late tea time tomorrow afternoon?
I think he means golf rather than high tea.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's definitely realistic. We've seen West Indies, whilst they put together one good innings at Trent Bridge, generally they've been prone to collapses. McCart-Louis was struggling there in that last hour as well. Bad drop catch from Ben Stokes kind of saved him, and also a tight review as well, LBW call as well. So it's up to them whether they can put application in tomorrow. Based on evidence, I'm not confident in that. So England, should be looking for golf courses for that third session slot.
No, you got to respect the game more than that. You know, a couple of days ago, Ollie Pope was saying, we could score, is it 500? 600 even in a day. You get complacent with the game, it gives you a right slap on the arse, doesn't it? So, no, there's test sides, some determined guys to come, actually probably the best batters in the West Indies side to come. Lots of work ahead, and who knows? I've said this a million times, it'd be a dull game that was predictable. I mean, you wouldn't be going to the bookies and putting loads of money on West Indies right now, but I think it'd be. There's no one in that England dressing room who's going to be booking a tea time for tomorrow afternoon. That would be disrespectful to West Indies and the game.
Well, hopefully it is a good day's play. We will see you again after tomorrow's play. Thank you very much for sending in your questions.